Well, hello everybody. Okay, here's round two. Okay, so this particular topic is to talk about the holidays, right? Do you believe that we should have more national holidays in the pay periods, right? This is for anyone who's working, okay, who has a job and they get rewarded for certain holidays by getting paid to be off. For instance, Memorial Day, Good Friday, Labor Day, 4th of July, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. I think the total is like, let's see, you get February, no, you get April, April, because it's Good Friday, or is it March? I think it's April. March or April. You get Good Friday, then you get Memorial Day, then you get 4th of July, then you get Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then New Year's, right? So you have 7. Okay, so roughly around 7 paid days off. Now, I would like to try to start a petition or start a movement out and about for trying to get election days, national election days, as a paid holiday. The reason why I say that is because I know that we have early voting, right? But for someone like me who possibly could be working all day, and then when I finally get off, the polls are closed, or just having to take a day off from work and not getting paid to go vote. I'd rather get paid than take the day off, right? So there's a lot of votes that are not getting counted simply because people cannot make it out to the polls, and they rather get paid than to not get paid to vote, right? So I think that we should make it a movement that will say that we need election days, or particular election days, to be considered paid holidays. Now, you can go as far as saying it can also be local, right? So you have particular local elections that go on in your counties or cities or where you live at. Then I can understand, say for instance in Houston, Texas, right? So say we're voting for a mayor, or we're voting for certain, or if it's a special election, or actually no, I think the special elections are based out of random, right? But scheduled elections, I think that as a county or a city, you could possibly make it to where you're allowing the employee to go out and participate in the voting process. Now, some people might say, well, why is that fair to the company to have to pay just so that someone can go vote, right? Well, you have to remember that the vote counts in your favor sometimes, and sometimes it's not in your favor, right? Say there's a say there's somebody running who's going to cut taxes on big business, and you want them to win. Well, what good is it going to do you when you won't allow your employees to go out and vote, or you're not giving the opportunity or time frame for them to do so without penalty? And when I say without penalty, obviously when a man doesn't get his paycheck, or a payday, that's like a penalty. That's the reason why suspensions are in place, in order to punish someone who's doing something wrong, right? You would take a day of work from him, or up to 3 days work from him, because you know that the penalty of missing a day's work can be very disastrous to that individual, right? So that is why I think that we should be trying to push for this idea. Because no one's really talking about it. We have all these other holidays that everyone is so proud and so glad to take off, but everyone's ignoring some of the most important times to be out of work, right? I'm pretty sure that there are certain particular holidays that would possibly be worthy of being out of work for the entire day and getting paid for it, right? And like I said, hear me out. I understand that sometimes it may not be fair and for companies, right? I'm pretty sure companies wish they didn't have to pay some of their employees for 4th of July, and they would wish that they didn't have to pay their employees for Memorial Day or Labor Day or anything like that, because it affects the bottom line. Okay, and depending on how many employees they have, is how much they have to pay out. So I can see the concern about it. But guys, do we really want to be stuck at work when one of the most important decisions that you could make as a citizen of the United States is being overlooked? I mean, do you want to sit there and be like, oh man, I wish that guy wouldn't have won the election, but I couldn't go home and vote because I would lose a day's work, and if I lose a day's work, I won't be able to pay the rent next month, or a certain bill that has to be paid, right? Because it's just assuming that on average most people make anywhere between $100 and $200 in a day's work, and so basically it's going to cost you $100 to go vote, right? So people, help me spread the idea of getting these elections put on paid time off, right? Maybe we can get a better turnout on people voting because they're not concerned about having the day off. I understand some people don't care for voting for anyone, so they would just take that day off to do nothing at all. And I understand that. But you can also make it you can possibly make it a voluntarily thing, right? You know, people who don't care for voting could possibly elect not to take that day off and use that day for something important, add it to their vacation time or something. I don't know, right? It's a possibility. And you know, some people get vacation time, but do you really want to use a vacation day to go vote? You know, you only get 14 days if you're lucky for vacation time. So, and you have 365 days in a year. So you have 365 days in a year, but you're only allowed 14 days paid off when you're not going to be there. So anything can happen in 365 days. So why would you use that if you might have to use that for something else, right? Say, for instance, one of my kids gets sick. I take a vacation day to deal with them, to help them get better, or whatever the case may be. Or they're in the hospital and I'm there with them. And every day I'm not at work, I'm using a vacation day. But that's using it smart, right? I'm not just blowing the vacation day just to sit at home. But let's try to see if we can get that going, right? Now, I have some future videos that I'm going to do about certain holidays and my thought on them, and I would like to see if I can get your opinion as well. But in the meantime, I hope everyone is having a great day or a great night, wherever you may be and whenever you see this. But to everyone, I'm back. I'll holler at y'all later. Bye.